Hi, I'm Tim Kerfin. Welcome to House Talk. I'm your host. Today we have two guests, Randy Barcella.
Jennifer,
how you doing, buddy?
Good, thank you. And Jennifer Minyard from Baird and Warner, Orland Park.
How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for coming, you guys.
This is a special week. It's not only my birthday week, it's also St. Patrick's week.
It's your birthday. It's Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. It's your birthday month.
Birthday month. Okay,
daughter
forget
has
about
a
the
birthday
date.
month.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just posted on
birthday
Facebook, happy birthday, but it
day's
started on
birthday.
Friday. It's really Tuesday, but it's actually the week and then the month because everybody wants to take you out for lunches, right?
That's
Yeah.
right. You can
It's
stretch
very-
it out. That's exciting.
So I noticed that's 13. Is that supposed to, what is that?
Yeah, I was born on the 13th.
19?
Lucky 13.
1913? Okay, it's this is the 13th.
So,
So everybody's wondering how old are you? You got time,
I can't blow out all of the
Yeah.
30-something cake candles on there, so I just put 1-3 for 13.
We'll help you.
Perfect.
All right.
We'll help you.
I'll help you eat
So
it,
hey, the
too.
big thing is, how old are you?
You know, the housing market is going
Come on.
really good this year, so,
Upper 50 something.
okay.
All right, we're gonna leave it at that.
All right.
Okay, I'll get it out of them before the show's over. But anyways, we're going to talk about real estate today. A couple things to do around the house, and that's why we're here. But one thing I want to tell everybody, Nicor, your gas company, believe it or not, this sounds strange, but they have sewer line insurance.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow, I
So
didn't know
let's just say, most people don't. And I think they charge about $12 a month. So let's say you get in your house or existing house. And by the way, I believe you do not have to have Nicor gas service to have sewer line insurance through Nicor Home Solutions. So if you live in Mount Greenwood or the city or something. But basically, so let's just say you buy a house, 2 months later you find out your sewer line's crushed. They'll cover you up to like $8,000.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's huge. How big of a problem is that in the real estate business?
It is a problem that
Yeah.
happens.
How many people say, hey, I want to get a sewer camera inspection? You know, or a lot of people that don't do that, and then they move in and they have a problem with the sewer line. So
Especially in an older area like Palos and Palos Park where there's a lot of trees, the roots grow underneath,
That happens
past
a
the
lot
house,
in Tinley
crush
as
the
well.
lines.
you and I, you being a realtor, me being a home inspector, we hear about that stuff all the time afterwards. And I tell people all the time. And I see a lot of people get burnt. They move in, they don't do that. A year later, they're sending me pictures of them digging up the front yard.
Yeah.
So Nicor Home Solutions, you can do it on the internet, and I think it's $10 or $12 a month. Read the fine print, but they will cover you up to like $4,000, up to $8,000, city sidewalks, things like that. But I highly recommend it. And I believe it takes 30 days to kick in.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Other thing I want to mention before we get started is, you know, with all the snow we had last month and all the melting, you know, a lot of people are getting water in their basements, a lot of ice damming.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, if you're familiar with ice damming, but ice damming is when, for example, the snow melts really fast, then freezes, gets under the shingles, then you get water coming down your walls. That's one form of ice damming. So I don't know what you're going to do about it this year. It was crazy. And people had 5-6 foot icicles hanging off their gutters.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of
Yeah,
weather.
I haven't had water in my basement in 20 years. I walked downstairs in socks and a little puddle in the kind of like in the middle of the floor. Well, that's coming up through the earth, hydrostatic pressure. That's something your sump pump will take care of. But with all this weather and thawing, I mean, there's not much you're going to do. There's nowhere for the water to go.
It's over now.
It's over now.
It's over now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Warm in.
So, anyways,
Thank goodness.
So let me get back to repairs. I tell you, I brush upon this topic once a month.
I know what you're going to say, but say it.
Realtors, homeowners, mortgage people, they think that FHA and VA call for repairs, and there's an FHA inspector and a VA inspector. There are no FHA inspectors. FHA does not call for repairs. Somebody just said, Randy, go out and take a final inspection. The appraiser's out of town. We can't get a hold of him. And there was peeling paint on a shed that was 5 years old. That's not an FHA or VA requirement.
They're big on peel paint.
There's no
Yeah.
peeling paint. Peeling
It's a
paint.
showstopper.
Peeling paint is if it's lead-based paint, and you can't buy lead-based paint till prior to after 1978. You cannot buy lead-based paint in the United States. So if it's a 5-year-old or 10-year-old shed or deck and it's peeling paint, that's not a health and safety concern. And then they said, Randy, go out to this house and check the smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. And then it says in the VA manual that appraisers are forbidden to enforce state laws requiring carbon monoxide and smoke alarms. But they said, you know, the FHA and the VA calls for it. I says, no, they don't. It's urban.
Well, everybody thinks that.
Everyone
Jennifer,
does think that.
And by the way,
peeling paint.
you're from Baird and Warner, Orland Park.
Yes.
Glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Everybody thinks that, right?
Everyone thinks that.
20 years ago
What
and
is
prior.
FHA going to say, or what is the VA going to say?
Right.
Yeah.
22. It's actually 22 years now and prior. FHA came out to the Lyle Hilton, and they said probably 400 people were there. Lenders, the FHA home ownership center in Atlanta came here. Realtors, underwriters, everybody was there. And FHA 22 years ago said, we are no longer in the calling for repair business. If your house conforms to local city and building zoning codes, and there's no health and
That's good enough
safety
for them.
and there's no health and safety concerns, it's up to them. Prior to 22 years ago, they had a 4-page
Yes.
VC sheet, valuation condition sheet, where the inspector from FHA had a checklist.
Right.
So it's urban myth now, 22 years later, that
That's good
you got.
information.
And I have realtors say,
Okay.
Randy, hold off to do the FHA appraisal because we got to get ready for the FHA inspector. We got to get GFI outlets.
I love
kitchen,
the
bathroom.
FHA inspector.
There is no
I
FHA
know.
inspector.
There's no FHA inspector. It's a if you're licensed by the state of Illinois, you're good to go.
The appraisal form, it's the 1004 appraisal form, and it's the same for FHA, VA, and conventional. So people have to get out of
And
their
there's no
mind.
VA inspector
There's no
either.
VA inspector. There's no FHA inspector. FHA does not call for repairs.
But why does
It's urban myth. It's
all
passed
realtors
down.
say that? All
Yes,
realtors
the
like, oh,
FHA appraiser comes through and he's like, oh, you have peeling paint, your GFCIs don't work, you don't have them near the water.
but they're not supposed to be calling that stuff out. That's my job.
Right. Okay, here's the health and safety
Right?
concerns.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I walk up to the house and there's shingles curling on the roof, I can see, and I go up to the second floor and there's water stains on the. It's probably a leaking roof.
You'd call that
And if
out,
I go
right?
in the basement and there's cracks, horizontal, big cracks in the foundation, and there's flooding in the basement, then that's a problem.
problem.
And if the house is like a lot of your older bungalows in the city of Chicago, built in 1920, and there's peeling paint on the windows and everywhere, that's lead-based paint probably. So you have to have that professionally remediated.
So a lot of things too. But I mean, do your own research. But a lot of issues with lead-based paint is it's not kids eating paint chips.
I agree.
But if you ever go to a shooting range, okay, and you get that lead in your throat, it is on the sweet side. I got to.
However, and I think
But-
you may have
but
taught
it's
me
the
this.
dust.
It's the dust.
It's the dust.
A lot of people will sand the windows,
Yeah.
and they're not properly certified to remediate lead-based paint. So they're scraping, and then they do painting, and on
And
the
then they're
floor
sanding, and
there's powder on the floor.
Kids bring.
And
See, this
so,
is what
uh,
we're not supposed to do. But anyways, go ahead. Keep
So
going.
the powder that's on the floor, if the little kids are crawling on the floor and they
I have
put
that thing off all the time.
and they put their fingers in their mouth with the lead-based paint dust,
Yeah.
they're
Then
going to
they
get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And the other thing too, and think about this too. If you go in Chicago, in a lot of suburbs, they have lead pipes, lead
Yeah.
water lines
Yeah, they do.
from the street to the house. So I know, like Chicago supposedly encapsulates that, but I don't know. I don't know anybody that's ever gotten lead poisoning from
The
that.
pipes,
Do you?
no.
in the inner city, on the 120-year-old homes, 110-year-olds home
Yeah.
in Pullman, they had asbestos wrapped pipes.
Oh, I see that all the time. Asbestos.
Right.
I see asbestos in some local houses here.
and a lot of the recommendations is leave the wrap. Just
Yeah.
wrap on top of the wrap.
Oh, really?
yeah, you can
Because if you
encapsulate that.
pull off that asbestos tape,
Yeah.
it's pretty thick, almost, and those fibers are going to start floating through the
Yeah.
air, and you're going to get really sick.
Well,
Makes sense.
I always recommend have it professionally removed.
I agree.
You know,
Yeah.
and be done with it and be out of it.
Always
Just
go
like,
with a professional.
yep. And just how many times you see like the 9x9 tiles on the basement floor?
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are non-friable
But
asbestos.
if anybody out there has questions about about FHA and VA and repairs versus not repairs, call me 708-870-9400, 708-870-9400. Text or call me, and I'm happy to come out. I go out to a lot of real estate
And you
offices.
will answer his phone.
I go out to a lot of real estate office seminars, and I go out to mortgage company seminars and home buyer seminars, and I go over all the details. So you really want to have your house available to sell FHA or VA, because 50% of the buyers are FHA and VA because 3.5% or 0% down. So it's urban myth. FHA does not call for repairs.
Okay.
If it is health and safety issues, yes, we have to call for it.
Of course. So that brings us into with lead and all that other stuff about home inspections.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about pre-sale inspections?
Love it.
Okay.
Love pre-sale inspections. It gives the seller an idea of things that might come up, and then they know what to fix, what to repair before.
So, for example, if you go in there and you have a pre-sale inspection, for example, I'm doing that and I come up with, hey, and I really don't tell people how much things cost, but I'm like, hey, you can have about $10,000 worth of repairs. Then you have a buyer come in with their own inspector and say, hey, I got $30,000 in repairs. you know that you had a pre-sale inspection, you only had about $10,000 in repairs.
Yeah, it gives you a heads up on what to fix.
Yeah.
It's really valuable.
And plus, it's a peace of mind for the seller, I think. Mm-hmm. You know, hey, I had this inspected, and it's really not as bad as I thought.
Sure.
Some of these things I could do it myself, and so when they do their inspection, it'll be a lot easier going.
I have a lot of realtors and homeowners call me and say, Randy, appraise our house now before I give it to a realtor. Or the
That's
realtors
smart
call
too.
me, said, Randy, appraise this so we're not overlisting it. So when people walk in, and then they say, get a home inspection done. You know why?
Well,
If a home buyer, prospective home buyer walks in, and they have the home inspection done from Tim Kerf and Home Inspections, and there's no repairs, or there were a couple little repairs, they were taken
We
care of.
talked about that
Right.
15
Yes,
years ago, how
yes,
they should do that.
yes.
Have an appraisal. You're selling your house, you have the appraisal there,
And the
have the
inspection
pre-sale
before.
inspection there,
Yes.
Yes.
all the realtors' information. I mean, that.
And you know what?
There's
Most
just
home inspectors that I've ever seen, they're going to tell you to put the GFI outlets in, GFCI
Smoke
outlets in,
carbons.
smoke and carbon monoxide. So you don't have to rely on any appraiser. The home inspection is a lot more detailed
Oh, yes.
than any
Yeah.
appraiser.
A GFI, just for everybody, if you don't know this, is an outlet that has two little buttons on there, a reset and a test button. So, and they're required by water. So if you drop a blender in the kitchen sink and your hand's in there, it will shut off so you don't get electrocuted. They're called ground fault circuit interrupters. Everybody calls them GFIs. And they're required where water is. And if you're not sure, give me a call.
And state of Illinois
Yep.
requires that you have, and city of Chicago, smoke and carbon monoxide alarms within 15 feet of a bedroom. And since smoke rises, of course, your smoke alarm's
Smoke
going to go on the
detector.
ceiling, and then your carbon monoxide is going to be a plug-in lower to the ground
Yeah.
because carbon monoxide is lower.
A smoke detector in each bedroom above the door,
Love
carbon monoxide detector within 15
In my
feet
house,
of the
I've got
bedroom.
about 10 for all the rules.
Yeah,
I don't.
keep in mind,
I overdo it. But
code is
it's
just
okay.
the minimum.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, but now let me ask you something. We were talking about this before. Now, I really want to touch on this.
Okay.
How do you feel about home staging?
It helps. It
Okay,
helps.
okay. I often wondered about that.
You know, it depends. If you have a vacant property,
Yeah.
I think it really helps the buyers and visualize how much furniture they can fit in there and the real size of the room. And then sometimes you want your home to be more modern. So if you get some newer furniture, switch it out. It could help it sell.
And declutter.
Declutter is so important. That is key.
I can always tell when I'm outside and someone declutters, the garage is full of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Just
packed.
Go run a storage unit or get a pod or something and put everything in there.
And I've done appraisals where the cars are parked on the street or they're parked in the driveway, and then you go in the garage and it's floor-to-ceiling boxes and just stuff.
Yeah.
And because they collected stuff, and they had not enough room in the garage, so they went and put a big shed in the backyard for more stuff. So I mean, I agree with Jennifer. Go get storage.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I always had, I gotta laugh. You know, if you're gonna show the house or have an inspection, clean the dog stuff up in the backyard.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh, landmines.
Clean it up.
I said this on my radio show that
Right?
tips for getting ready for spring, like in the wintertime.
That's a tip, yes.
In the wintertime,
Yes.
everybody cracked their door open in the back door to the backyard about 8 inches to let the dog run out and run back in because they didn't want to take the dog for a walk. And then there's a lot of leaves in the backyard. So
And
I
snow
go back to
melts
take a
and-
picture of the back of the house, and I'm stepping on a leaf, and I go, shh, it's smushy like, and I look down, there's 100 landmines all over the backyard. You just got to clean it up, everybody.
Right.
Yeah. And that's
clean-
something you don't think about normally.
And clean your
but
refrigerator and clean the toilets.
Yes.
That's
yes.
the other thing too, because everybody
Just
looks
clean
in
the whole
fridge.
house.
Wait,
Am
Jennifer.
I right about that? The
Yes.
refrigerator.
Everyone
looks,
opens the fridge.
Oh my God!
And the
I love
oven.
this.
Clean the oven.
Yeah,
So
and the
Jennifer,
toilet.
since-
Wipe the toilet seat
Yeah.
down.
You're an
Okay.
expert realtor from Baron Warner. What do you recommend people do now in spring to get ready for spring to sell their house?
Sure. So declutter, clean, like we've been saying, the inside and the outside. Pick up your leaves. Make sure everything looks beautiful. Hey, put some fresh flowers out. That's a good thing
Clean
to do.
your underwear off the floor. I see that.
Yes, make sure it's decluttered.
come on.
Maybe take down some personal pictures of your family if you don't want everyone to see your children.
Because everybody looks at the pictures too.
Yes.
It's just what I see.
Yeah, and
over
you
the
never
years.
know who's looking online. So
Yes.
yeah, maintain your privacy. And a fresh coat of paint goes a long ways too.
Funny you should mention that. I did an appraisal on a house, and I know it affected the selling of the house.
Really?
The second floor, the one child was into Gothic, and the two walls were black, the other two walls were purple.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the top ceiling was purple with stars on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they moved into the second room, bedroom, and it was fire engine red, all the walls and the ceiling, and
Yeah.
there was a big Black Hawk head from 6 feet by 8 feet, and I don't have anything against Gothic or Blackhawks, but neutralized the house.
Yes,
Yeah.
Right?
neutralized.
Because a lot of
It was
people can't see what.
No, they can't see
Right.
through that.
Yes.
They can't.
And those little stars on the ceilings. You know, I always tell people, you know,
It distracts the buyer.
And purple and black walls.
and you know, and people are like, hey, would I be able to get those off without ruining the drywall?
Yeah, and they
probably
think about
not.
that. Yeah, and they see
Clean all that stuff
dollar
off.
signs when they have to repaint
That's
the whole
it.
house. That's what they see. Yeah.
Dollar signs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the other thing too is, what I always, I don't know what you tell people, but during inspection in the winter months, I can't check the air conditioning.
Yeah, no, you don't turn that on.
So what do you normally recommend to people? Do you give them a home warranty, or what do you?
Yeah, home warranty.
Okay, because that's kind of that's kind of your your ace in the hole if something goes wrong in the springtime.
Sure.
But you really shouldn't start an air conditioner unless it's over 65 degrees for 2 days.
Yeah, because it'll wreck it. I just had a home inspection the other day with my clients, and the appraiser, well, the inspector was out there, and he was going to start it, and I said, no, don't start it.
I got to tell you something funny.
It warmed up, but it's like it hasn't been warm enough.
No.
Don't.
I had
do
a
it.
guy yesterday. He was an HVAC contractor, and he wanted to put his coat over the condenser and start the condenser.
No way.
Really?
I'm like, look at, you know what? I said, no, don't do that.
Well,
It's not
I'm going to tell you,
worth
there's
it.
the 80-20 rule. I've learned this even since business school and college, and when you get out of college. 80-20. 20%
What year
of the
was
people,
that?
20% of the people in home
working on it.
inspections, and 20% of the people in real estate as realtors, and 20% of the appraisers, they're really good and they know what they're doing. The other 80% are not as good. They don't have continuing education. They're doing what he just said. I'll take my jacket off, put it over the condenser, the air conditioner, and I'm going to fire it up. Are you kidding me?
I just thought, I was thinking to myself, I was like, dude, that's a good idea, but no, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Other thing too, I get people.
Just go with a home warranty. It's much safer.
How many times you get the dad in there or something, moving the refrigerator
yeah.
and turning valves? No, bring the dad. That's great and everything, but
And I got an uncle,
I got
an uncle who's
Yeah, my brother's a pro.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
the home inspectors, you guys are licensed. You know what you're doing. You've taken
I
continuing
got so
ed.
many good stories about. I had a dad one time move a refrigerator, and I go, sir, don't do that. And of course he did that, and he put it back, and he crimped the water line behind it. It started dripping down there.
Wow.
About $600 worth of damage,
Wow.
And but it wasn't my fault. I mean, the realtors there. I said, please don't do that. I had another time where a buyer, okay, how people walk around, and most of the time the realtor just kind of sits there, and does paperwork or something like that. But the buyer actually went and cut the carpet to see if
No
there were
way.
see what was
Wow.
underneath.
Wow.
Okay, I got blamed for that, but the guy fessed up. No, home inspectors don't cut carpet. It's a non-invasive inspection.
Right.
But all kinds of crazy things. Other thing is, and I know after you leave a house, I mean, you do a final walkthrough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So do
Right.
I. Check windows.
Yes. Make sure everything's locked, closed, lights are off.
Exactly. I'm to the point in inspections, if I see a $20 bill on the dresser upstairs, I tell the realtor, hey, by the way, there was money up there. I just want to let you know.
Yeah.
Things like
I
that.
didn't take it.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Right.
want another story about home inspectors?
Yeah.
Okay. I did this really beautiful townhome in the suburbs here, and 2 months after it closed, the borrower called me and says, Randy Barcelli, yeah, I got a bone to pick with you. I said, what? I have this townhouse that I just bought. And I said, yeah, it was a beautiful townhouse. She said, yes, but there was something wrong with the jets in the Whirlpool master bath and something with the switch behind the wall on the
Whirlpools.
electrical. And I said, did you get a home inspection done? And she said, no, you're the FHA inspector. Because I got an FHA loan, you're the FHA inspector, and you were supposed to call that. I said, there is no FHA inspector. You had the right to get a home inspection at the beginning. So if you're getting an FHA loan, don't think that there's an
Yeah.
FHA inspector. There isn't. You need to call Tim, have a home inspection done, because appraisers don't go home behind walls and
But isn't
underneath whirlpools.
Isn't it the realtor's job to say, hey,
Get
listen,
a home inspection.
recommend home
I
inspection?
do,
All right.
absolutely.
Yeah, and,
I
and
do.
for better or for worse, and if there's issues with the house and they walk away, great. Go to the next one, because if and your client trusts you.
Yes.
And the whole idea is it's word of mouth.
It is. It's word of mouth.
Yeah, you want their
Clients trust
sisters,
you.
brothers.
But with the home inspections, this is your biggest investment when you buy a home. So you want to invest a few $100s, whatever it is, to have your home inspector come out there and check it out. Make
I
sure.
love when I get calls. Hey, I'm shopping around. Lowest bidder.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you don't want to go with the lowest.
I said, for a radon test.
It's all
but
about experience.
It is. You're
and you
hiring
can check
a home
your
inspector.
reviews now,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they went online and they saw Shifting Sands, a Texas realtor. They'll list a house for 2% or 2.5%. but you get what you pay for.
You get what you pay for.
And I've heard somebody,
that's right.
somebody was typical appraisals all over Northern Illinois from a state certified with a lot of experience are $425. That's just what it is. Some of them will be between $350 and $550, but the average for residential appraisals are $425. I've seen somebody call me and says, hey, can you do it for $225? I got a guy who'll do it for $250. I says, this is not like going to Aldi or what are the different
Costco.
Or Costco or Sam's Club
Mariano's.
for shopping for toilet paper and laundry soap? That's not it. We want to hire a professional realtor, home inspector, and an appraiser who's going to get a really good, wonderful, thorough job. So if you want to hire somebody for $250 who's been in the business for 3 years and don't know what they're doing, go ahead. But I'm a professional, 30 years in the business, and we know what we're doing. And like Jennifer said, this is a big investment you're doing.
Yes.
You're getting her professional, expert advice, and she's going to sell it at the highest price. But there's a standard commission that they charge.
Yeah.
With the sellers, with the buyers, are going to get it at the best price because I'm a good negotiator.
I like it.
Well, that's why you should have a realtor, because
She
you know,
is. She looks sweet, kind
for
and
sale.
nice. She is, but she's a pit
Just
bull
wait.
in negotiations.
if you do a for sale by owner, I think statistics show that you make more money having a realtor than if you
Oh
do a
yeah,
for sale by owner.
Yes.
I think
They
it's
think
like
they're gonna save the
88.
$5,000 or something.
Actually, it's like 88% of for sale by owners actually end up listing with the real estate agent, and then the ones that don't list with the real estate agent, they actually lose money.
Yeah, and I love it because I can always tell them they don't have a real estate agent. They're asking me stuff. I go, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's why you get a realtor asking me questions and attorney answers. I don't know.
You
Get an
want some
attorney.
good news?
Yes.
Property values have been going up the last 3 years.
Oh yes, they have.
We need more houses on the market.
We do.
And-
We have a low inventory.
And I'm
Yeah,
seeing
put your
that
house up
when
for
I'm
sale.
getting these appraisals done. Let's say the house out here in Palos Heights sold for $300, or it's listed for $299. I'm seeing offers on the contract, firm deal at $310 over because there's multiple bids because
Yeah.
there's not enough houses for sale.
Right.
In inventory. So my recommendation,
hot areas, yeah.
and I think I got this advice from Jennifer, if your house is priced correctly and it shows well, it's selling
Fast.
right fast, yes.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. And the sooner you put it on, there's less inventory, you're going to get more. If it shows only days on market or 5 days, 6 days, 10, 14, when you do have a buyer, they're not going to come in low. They're going to come in at your list price or maybe over if you start a bidding war.
Well, what
Nice.
happens when you go in a house and the inspector says, hey, the furnace and or whatever, there's a defect. The furnace is 50 years old, and
As long
They
as
wanna
it's
negotiate
working,
that.
as long as it's in working order, it's
safe
fine.
condition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because some sellers maintain like they're supposed to. So
Yeah.
as long as it works.
And
A
if I
furnace
walk
and AC
if-
lasts 15, 20 years,
Yeah.
but it can last longer if
It
you take
can,
care of it.
sure.
It's like a car.
So just get a home warranty, $500.
And there's like a $100 deductible, right?
Yeah.
But
I've
there's
been in
good
houses
warranties and
where the
bad
furnace
warranties.
is
Sure.
29 years old. So you can't just automatically say that a furnace only lasts 18 years.
I've been in
Right.
houses with boilers with the old Home Alone octopus-looking thing, and the heat
Yeah.
rises and the cool air naturally falls. I mean, I see those at least once a year. Like, well, not so much Pullman, but Chicago.
Right.
Yeah.
And the east side, far east side, 103rd and Ewing, Avenue O, those areas over
O&G,
there.
they have
Yeah.
all those old,
By the steel
old
mills?
stuff.
Yeah, the east side it's called, yeah.
Yeah, and asbestos. I see asbestos in Palos Heights, a lot of vermiculite. I'm
Wow.
familiar with that. It's insulation in the attic. It looks like shiny little wood chips. And most of the time that has asbestos in there. So I just did a house yesterday in Palos Park. They had vermiculite in the attic.
Wow.
And also, too-
1969.
I've been getting a lot of questions about mold lately. An appraiser cannot tell you if it's mold or not. A real estate broker cannot tell you if it's mold. It has to be inspected by a home inspector and then tested. And
Tested.
after it's tested, we can call it mold. Because I did a house in the suburbs recently, and it was 2 years old. And the first buyer, I think it was a foreclosure. They had to move out. So they got a new buyer, and the listing agent met me for the appraisal, and the buyer's agent came through for a second offer, and they came back upstairs. They said, walk away from this house. There's mold all over the basement on the trusses. So the listing agent said, Randy, can you go down there and see what you see? So I go down there.
Of course, here we go.
Yeah, I know.
We just want my pen.
$300 appraisal is now worth.
Well, you see,
yeah.
I know a little bit more about this than a regular appraiser because my dad was a builder. I used to work for him. So with my pen, I just touched it, and it was dried mud from when they were building the house in
I see it a
You see
lot.
that a lot. Yeah,
It's
you see
dried
that a
mud that
lot.
was not mold.
Yeah.
Just because you see those splotches, that's not necessarily mold. You have to have it tested.
Or if you
Yeah.
go in the older houses, they have plank floors.
Yeah.
You see the lines coming down.
Yeah.
It's not mold.
Yeah, it's
Right,
not.
right.
It's just, yeah. But I see mold a lot in attics and things. Yeah,
And a lot of attics have mold.
yeah,
right?
and I just call this and you get it tested, but at the end of the day, you're still going to need to treat it. But the bottom line, you should have it tested.
But you could fix it.
You could definitely fix it. You get mold in the attic, generally it's because of poor ventilation.
Yes. The bathrooms are being ventilated to the attic instead of
Or the
outside
homeowner
home.
goes, I call it homeowner work. They go up there and they insulate and all the soffit vents are clogged up and,
Yeah.
you know.
You
So
know, it's
Jennifer-
an inexpensive fix
Yeah.
too.
What are you? I'm looking for comparables because I'm getting a lot more appraisals in the past week, and there's a lot more houses on the market now than there was last month. So, what are you seeing for the spring market? Is it popping now? Is it?
It's
getting
starting
act-
to.
Yeah?
We still have low inventory.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of my sellers that are sitting on the fence, they're like, we want to sell, but we don't know where we're going to go. We can't find, we don't see a house we want to
That's a
buy.
good point, too. I didn't think about that. Not only, yeah.
You know, so it's like, well, you got to list your home. Have faith. Something's going to pop up
I
that
see,
you
I
like.
see a decent amount of new construction.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
New construction's booming, actually.
In downtown
Walmart,
Chicago, there's
Relax.
cranes everywhere, and that's a good sign.
Yeah.
When you see cranes all over a downtown area,
That's true.
Yeah, it's a good
that's
sign.
a great sign. They're putting up high rises.
But you know what? People are starting to list more and more now. It's starting to pop. The weather's breaking. It's going to be a good
Nice.
year.
Nice.
I hope it is.
It is.
Yeah,
You're going to be so busy, Tim.
I hope so.
What about radon, Mr. Radon
Yeah,
guy?
how's
We
that?
just
I'm
covered
not
mold.
a radon guy. And by the way, I'm not a licensed radon guy, but I just know a little bit about it.
Okay.
Do you have a lot of people that ask for radon tests?
I do now.
You-
More and more
and-
common.
And I'll tell you what, I live in Palos, and I have high levels of radon.
Yeah, you know,
The
it's
red?
it's so sporadic too. You'll
red?
have it here, and then your neighbor won't have it.
Yeah, your neighbor could be high, you could be low, it just
Low, yeah.
depends. But a radon is basically radiation, gas
Yeah.
coming through the earth, cleans out the air particles, and you breathe it in. They say it's number 2 behind cigarettes for lung cancer. You should have your house tested. And
Yeah.
a test is what, 200, 225?
Yeah, it's not much.
Don't get a Home
mi-
Depot test.
yeah.
That doesn't count. You want a professional
To mitigate
test.
it's what 1,500, 2,000, 25 to mitigate.
And
lot-
like I said, the good news is you can
A lot of builders for new
manage
construction
it.
are
Oh
putting
yeah, just putting
the-
it in.
That's Illinois
The
law
rate
now.
passive,
Illinois
the
law is
passive
it.
system without
Thank
the
you.
fan.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
And yeah, I mean, you know, so I mean, what is that?
It's a white PVC pipe similar to this, and it's out of the foundation. It goes up and out.
It's got a vent. Just creates a little
Yeah.
negative pressure
Yeah.
underneath the slab, so you can't
Nice.
push the gas through the floor. But and it's odorless. You
It
can't
is.
see it. You can't taste it.
You don't know if you have it.
That's it. But like I said, I live in Palos. My levels were high, and I would definitely recommend. And if you're going to sell your house, get a get
Oh yeah,
tested.
get it tested because once your buyer, if they do a radon test and they find out that the levels are high, you have to mitigate anyways.
Anyways,
and you would have to legally disclose that.
Yeah.
So,
So get it tested.
One
Nip
of the,
this
some
stuff
of
in
the
the
best
butt.
advice
Yeah.
that we said at the beginning of the show: get a home inspection done beforehand.
yes.
Let Jennifer walk through and give you her checklist on how to get ready for spring.
Yes.
And get an appraisal done.
And don't be offended when she
Right.
tells you need to get rid of that.
Rid of some stuff.
Yeah,
It's okay. Or
yeah.
paint or clean
Yeah.
up, get some new furniture, replace the old couch, you know. It's
Maybe
okay.
maybe paint those black walls.
Yeah.
You know.
Take
right.
off the stars so we
And
know
the
that
first
the
thing you have
drywall's
to
gonna
ask
be
somebody
okay.
when you're going to sell your house, you get a home inspection or appraisal, how long have you been in the business? Are you state certified? Do you have affiliations with the
Do you have reviews?
yes and reviews, right? Forget about shopping for price. You could do that at Aldi's and Costco and Sam's Club.
Yes.
This is not like shopping for detergent.
I
or
love all
soap.
those stores, by the way.
They're
Well,
great
I
stores.
shop
I'm a
there
big
too.
Aldi fan.
Love it.
Yeah.
I shop there too. But
Great
Yeah.
stores.
not if I well, here's a perfect example. You're getting ready to have heart surgery. Are you going to call around the different hospitals? Who's going to do my heart surgery for the cheapest price?
No, you're going to look
All
up
right.
online
Listen,
about
my
reviews.
dad would.
Top, huh?
My dad would for
Your dad
sure.
would?
Oh yeah.
Shop doctors. Oh my God, I'm dying. Who's the cheapest?
who's the
No,
cheapest?
yeah.
right?
Yeah, my dad would.
Yeah, well, you know.
But it's
When I
good
was a
news,
kid, he used to put a
property
he used to put a can of Campbell's soup on the. Remember we had pilot lights. By
Really?
the time we get home, it'd be just right.
No way. Are you kidding me?
That's
I'm
great.
telling you.
Wow, that's good.
Yeah.
That's some old
But
school
that's
stuff.
that's that old World War II type thing, you know. Anyways, what's this?
So,
Is that
it's
a real
birthday
cake?
week, and
That is a
like this.
beautiful.
Is that real?
That is a beautiful cake.
how am I doing? Is that one?
You got it.
All right, the fire department. Yeah, just want the fire department here.
Hang
Here, let me.
on. Hang on.
Okay, I'm just gonna set that wick up. There you
It's
go.
Randy.
Hey, it's my
birthday,
birthday. It's
so-
13, not because I'm 13, but I was born on the 13th, so
Lucky
So you got to
13.
think about this. How many guys bring their own cake?
Lucky 13. It's a beautiful
See?
cake.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Any
beautiful?
reason to eat cake.
That is beautiful.
That
all
is
right, cool.
beautiful.
So can you sing?
Yeah, happy
birthday to you.
Cha cha cha.
Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha. Happy birthday, dear Randy.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. Cha cha cha.
Make a wish.
Ooh, beautiful.
All right. It's March.
I used to love
my
when my
birthday.
kids would
St.
blow out the
Patty's week.
candles when they're little, and they would spit on it. Or sneeze on
You
it.
like that?
Be like,
You like
So,
that?
Jennifer, how can somebody get a hold of you for expert real estate advice?
Yes,
Jennifer
yes,
is in the
call me.
Southland here.
Call me at 630-210-2998.
and you service the whole.
I service all of, yes.
And also, to get a hold of me, Randy Barcella. Also, a lot of you are listening to my radio show. I've got emails all the time. Realestatereveal.net. It's on Sunday mornings, enjoyed at AM 560 WIND. So just get out to the website, realestatereveal.net. REVEALED.net. Realestatereveal.net. And then just call me or text me. 708-870-9400. That's 708-870-9400. Tim Kerfoot.
Hey everybody, happy St. Patrick's Day. Have a great time this weekend. I think I am going to start. I'll probably start at Franklin House and probably go to Hackney's. I know Hackney's. I'm pretty sure has a Kilty band.
Or what's the pub crawl along Western Avenue?
Yeah,
Southside
you
Irish?
could do that, but
That'll be fun.
yeah. But anyways, that's what I want to do. So
Okay.
I'm Tim Kerfoot, host of House Talk here. 708-935-3453. Really appreciate everybody listening or watching.
And get out to
have a great
YouTube.
week.
This will be on YouTube.
Yeah, watch us on
Yes.
YouTube.
Hey, thanks for coming in, you guys.
Yeah, thanks
Thank
for
you.
having
Okay,
us.
see you next time.
All right.
Okay.
Jennifer.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All right.